There's a great phrase in England among the Cockney, London's working class culture. Born within the sound of Bow Bells as a true Cockney, within the sound of the church bells of St Mary le Bow in Cheapside, London. I have been there. Great resonance for me. At 17, travelling down to Brick Lane on a double-decker bus to buy bike bits and soak up with the London still Victorian early on a Sunday morning. Not the bustle and the handsome carriage, but the fun stuff, the sexy and the gin, the cheap jacks, probably gone. The East End, the melting pot like all the rest. Like Rome and Paris and Alexandria, the truly fun, life-enhancing, broiling stuff, the Dionysus of Europe, the usual stuff, not the stuffy stuff of BBC Sundays, the Anglican mythology of chocolate boxes and Mary Poppinses, the great stew of humanity, multiracial and multi-faith like Shanghai and Mumbai, the world of Joseph Conrad vibrating in its honest hustle in the language of the Cockney. There's a phrase. You gotta laugh, eh? It's not a question. It's a beckoning. I woke up today, turned on my selected sources of current events, and I hear a lot about hegemony. Ooh, the hegemon. Ooh. You gotta laugh, eh? Oh, and look it up before you say it, talking heads. It means power and dominance over others. You are now confessing what has driven the US for centuries. Not this spreading democracy bullshit. I forgive you, it's only natural. I heard the word first late in life watching The 13th Warrior, the great scorned movie of Michael Crichton's Eaters of the Dead, which turns out to be a version of Beowulf, older English even than Brick Lane. That stunned me at 5. Now, once upon a time, England and France or Spain or Italy used to be hegemons. Germany missed out and we suffered the consequences later. At least they dressed like them. Wore the hats, goose-stepped and paraded the cannon. They told each other and themselves hero stories about themselves, Beowulfs and Henrys and Winstons and Hamlets, Charlemagnes and Caesars, breasts swelled Mussolini style, ending in tears, and the Cockney whispered, you gotta laugh. Oh, for centuries this went on. Generations of Daytons and Austins doing far, far better things than they had ever done the day before. Nelson and his column standing watch over pigeons and Londons, and Britain's own terrorist rides her chariot on the embankment catty corner from Parliament, like most things of empire, misunderstood by the emperor. Some talk of the British Grenadiers. Talk, talk, talk indeed. And now they weep and whine. The US is the hegemon we used to be. What we did to India is being done unto us. And where India grinned and bore it, the Euros just weep. Wasn't that a theory? Teach someone how to fish and you give them a life. Give them a fish and you take it away. Something like that. Gotta laugh, eh? Has Europe forgotten how to fish? Did they ever even know how to fish? The Jamestown story is instructive. A bunch of New Jerusalemers expected the locals to feed them. Ooh, like the good serf of Herefordshire. And now you're whining because your adopted big brother won't beat up that Russian bully. Do you have any self-respect? Europe? You gotta laugh, eh, says the fisherman. You gotta laugh, eh? Why isn't the Godfather protecting us anymore? I guess we didn't pay the fees. Gosh, but what about all that free world stuff? United against the evil axis of, hey, aren't we all in this together? Are we really only throat cutters? You gotta laugh. Europeans together. Talk about cat-changing spots. Who pays more attention to the dullard Windsors than the ladies of Sacramento? Nostalgia, full, lost colonials with no self only bad Dickens musicals. Ha ha, the Cockney laughs. Once were socialists and poets, these scrappy cheap jacks on Brick Lane. Now they're all crying, but Donald, why? My portfolio is tragic. Your what, says Charlie Peace? Get a fucking job. You gotta laugh. But seriously, folks, or prosaically, how does it feel to be on your own like a complete unknown? The exploiter gets exploited. Ooh, 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 hegemon. In the dictionary. Look it up under H. My sister has a ton of money. My auntie has it too. Why? They live in terror of not having enough money, is the answer. But you gotta laugh, really, because they just live in terror. Money optional. My brother lost $5,000 from his portfolio because the market got skittish around the tariffs. I love my brother. My money's in a checking account. Didn't lose a dime. Or Bernie Madoff was a crook making money off people who desired to be crooks. What are you going to do? You got to laugh, eh? Walk into a bar in the wild, wild west. At one table there's a gambler bragging. At another table is the town blacksmith sipping the pint slowly. Who do you want to sit with to listen to? Don't lie. Who do you want to sit with? Who reflects you? And I don't mean some virtuous, educated middle class, I really ought to sit here. I mean your own real impulse. Try it. It's an unusual feeling. You need to get used to it. Depending on who you choose to sit with, you will make your economic policy. Stop complaining about a Bernie Madoff that has ripped people off to your advantage for years. It's a good moment to not lie to yourself. Because you got to laugh. Yeah?